Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal, and we've been hearing a lot lately from abortion rights advocates about how we have to close down those horrible pro-life pregnancy centers because they misinform women and trick them into, having their babies, as if the woman couldn't walk out and go, what was I thinking? And then call an abortion clinic and schedule an abortion. Like, hello? So they have problems with saying things to women that might convince them to have the baby. But I have never, outside of Ted Kennedy, heard anybody on the abortion rights side, the pro-choice side, the make an informed decision about your body side, complaining about things like what happened to Allegra Roseberry. Allegra was 41 when she was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer. She was admitted to Emory Hospital for assessment and surgery in anticipation of admission to an experimental cancer treatment program. There, a sonogram revealed a 23-week pregnancy, much to everybody's surprise, because Allegra had to undergo fertility treatments in order to conceive her son Matthew some years earlier. Her liver specialist, family doctor, and gynecologist had all failed to detect the pregnancy, despite the fact that Allegra said she felt pregnant. She had her period stopped, she had breast tenderness, a distended abdomen, and nausea, but everybody just attributed these to the cancer and other problems. Well, once the baby was identified, all of Allegra's doctors told her that abortion was her only alternative. They said that the fetus was doomed due to Allegra's ailments and treatments, and that her pregnancy would render her ineligible for the experimental treatment, and that the pregnancy was damaging her fragile health and would hasten her death. No one arranged for a consult with a perinatologist or even an obstetrician. Nobody talked to her about continuing the pregnancy or even delivering the baby early to give her a chance of survival. Nope, had to be an abortion or you're going to die, and really what does it matter, the baby's doomed anyway. That was the story Allegra was told. She was transferred to Emory's Crawford Long Hospital for the abortion. Dr. Young W. Ahn initiated the abortion by inserting a prostaglandin suppository on August 8th of 1988. Never did Dr. Ahn discuss why Allegra had been referred for the abortion, did not verify that she would have had to have an abortion to be eligible for the cancer treatment, did not discuss with her how close Amy was to viability, and yes, she and her husband had named the baby Amy. This was a loved and wanted baby. But they just chugged ahead with the abortion. The next day, Allegra expelled the dead baby, and then Allegra developed sepsis and died on August 13th from this life-saving abortion. And an autopsy revealed that doomed Amy had been perfectly normal. So Allegra was falsely told that if she was pregnant, she would not be eligible for this potentially life-saving cancer treatment. And they told her that her baby was doomed when her baby was actually perfectly healthy. And Allegra and her husband wanted this baby badly enough to have given the child a name. But I have never heard one single pro-choice person get upset about stuff like this happening to women. They're too afraid that somebody's going to tempt a woman away from an abortion with a promise of diapers and baby formula to have a problem with "you'll die if you don't do this" told to a woman falsely, and then the abortion kills her. Now, the liver specialist contended that Allegra would have aborted Amy even if she'd known she was healthy in order to be eligible for the program, but the program did not exclude pregnant women. The gynecologist claimed that the reason for the abortion was damage to Amy due to radiation therapy and chemotherapy, neither one of which Amy had undergone. Everybody asserted that Allegra couldn't have survived long enough to deliver Amy alive anyway, but her prognosis without the experimental program was 3 to 6 months, which would have put Amy's gestational age at 35 weeks at the earliest her mother would be expected to die, far past the point of viability. And at 6 months, Allegra would have lived long enough to deliver her child at term and still have 7 weeks to spend with her. It seemed bizarre to me to subject a woman as one of the last acts of her life to endure a grueling late-term abortion rather than delivering a 32-week baby who could have potentially survived. Take the baby to the NICU. This wasn't offered to her. This wasn't discussed with her. But the pro-choice movement has no freaking problem with what was done to Allegra. Now, Allegra's husband understandably sued, and the jury did not find for the wrongful death of Allegra because, well, she was going to die anyway, but they did find for the wrongful death of baby Amy. Somehow they didn't consider the time that Allegra could have spent being a mother to her daughter to be worth anything. And Allegra's was not the only tragic death caused by doctors who recommended or excused an abortion as a life or health-preserving procedure for the mother. Angelica Duarte sought an abortion on the advice of her physician and ended up dying under the care of a quack. Barbara Hoppert died during an abortion recommended due to a congenital heart problem. Kristen Gilbert died after an abortion that George Tiller asserted was justified on maternal health grounds. Erica Peterson died when doctors obtained her husband's permission to perform a therapeutic abortion. And Molly Rowe died when her doctors made the dubious decision to perform a saline abortion to increase her chances of surviving a lupus crisis. Allegra's also not the only woman I know of who was talked into an abortion on the grounds that there was something wrong with her baby, only to have the baby be healthy. Marla Cardamone was badgered into an unwanted abortion by a hospital social worker on the grounds that her baby was going to be so severely disabled that nobody would ever adopt a baby that severely disabled, and she would be unable to help her mother care for her disabled father if she had this baby. And after Marla died from this abortion, it turned out that her baby had been perfectly healthy. And I cannot for the life of me understand why people whose lives are supposedly, the whole reason you're supposedly pro-choice is that you want the woman to be able to make the choice. Why don't you care when women are lied to get them to abort, even when those lies lead to the woman's death? Why does this not matter to you? Explain that to me in a way that I can understand. Why was it better for Allegra to wind up dead than with some pro-lifer handing her a pack of diapers?